Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. My English got a little caught there, but you know what else caught up? Baron, you're wearing a hoodie in late August. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's kind of messed up right now.
It's a little chilly where I'm at.
Oh, chilly where you're at. You're in the South, big dog. It ain't no chilly.
My house is a little chilly right now. What can I say?
What's the temperature?
68.
Okay, that's a little chilly. I mean, damn. You know you can turn it up, right?
Yeah,
Boy, what
but
a finish.
this is what they gave it. This is how they gave it to us. So if I don't change it, then they can't charge our or they can't change our utilities. So
Fair. Well,
something like that.
back again. Here we go. Football season's right around the corner. Of course, we love both sides of the coin of football. I would say a little more NFL based for both of us if we combined our knowledge. But we're going to jump into something else, which is the other side of the coin. College football week 0 is done. The craziest game was, of course, Kansas State, Iowa State in
Mhm.
Ireland.
Mhm.
First of all, did you see that Kansas State's dad and brother fought each other after the game?
I did not.
Isn't that crazy? Like your own dad and brother fist fight each other in
Wait,
Ireland.
who is this?
The quarterback for Kansas
Mm.
State, his dad and brother fist fought each other.
For what?
Like
What
your own
was?
family.
Well, what was the reason? Don't know.
Probably because they're like, damn, we got our shit kicked in by Iowa State, bro. Now we're gonna fight each other.
I guess. I mean, it doesn't sound like either of them were out there, but fair enough. Yeah. I didn't pay too much attention to week 0. I'm not gonna lie, there weren't any riveting matchups, and I was.
Oh, there was a ranked matchup in week 0, which is like impossible. Week 0 never has any ranked matchups, so
Yeah.
always got to tune in a little Ireland
Do,
action.
do we even have a ranked team
But
this year in week 0?
what do you mean?
Did a ranked team play this year in week 0, or am I just
That's what I
complete?
said. Iowa State and Kansas State.
Yeah. Oh, is it only
Those
one
are
team?
two
Oh,
ranked teams.
they are ranked.
Both of them.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. See,
So as you can tell, the
I'm a,
ball
I'm,
the ball is
I'm a little out of the
not
loop.
there for
I'm a little out of the loop.
little,
I'm not gonna
little
lie.
dub. But Iowa State was the underdog +3 going to that one. They got the win by 3. So not only underdogs, but did what we like to do with Dog of the Day. They won outright in week 0 in Ireland. But we know, frick, I mean, shit. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I know that there's some big matchups this weekend in college football. Barron
Yeah.
may not. I mean, shit, he might think all the teams are still unranked. So,
No teams are ranked. What are you talking about?
wow, you're one of those guys. No one's the AP rankings are BS, which they are, but the AP rankings are BS. So, welcome to the club. Um, but yeah, now we have 3 matchups. 12 o'clock. I still think the 3:30 is a big matchup. I think
Mm-hmm.
people are sleeping on it a little too much. I still think it's a big matchup. And you have the 7:30.
Oh boy.
I think maybe we should start with the one that is the least riveting,
Okay. Hold on.
and that would be Florida State
Oh, one moment. Hold on. Hold on. You got it.
and Alabama.
Yep. All right. Sorry about that. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of yeah. But yeah, I mean, should be a good game. We'll see what Florida State has this year. Last season, all college football fans know Florida State's story from last season. Utter disappointment of a season if you ask any of their fans. But yeah, who do you have going into this game, Brooks? I would probably take Alabama.
I think everyone's going to take Alabama, but the interesting, the intricate is, well, if Florida State can even win, if they have a chance of winning,
Right.
and then if they at least make it an interesting game. Now, I haven't checked the spread on that game. If I'm not mistaken, it might be 14
Let's take a look.
for Bama.
Let's take a look.
14.
Are you
That
okay with
that sounds right.
Are you okay with ESPN bet statistics? Are you looking at me like you just
That's
seen a
close enough.
ghost? All right. College football.
13 and a half.
There you go. Yep.
13 and a half.
That it is. That it
So
is. But I mean, they're saying this is the biggest game of this slate. I don't know what they're
no,
talking
no one.
about.
I'm saying it's a big game for the 3:30.
For the 3:30. Yeah, you're probably right though. I don't see another really good game at 3:30. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a boring opening day at 3:30. Yeah, I guess that would be the best game. But yeah, no, I mean Alabama is certainly a team, and we talked a little bit about them in our college football episode earlier in the summer. But Alabama is definitely a team that we expect to be competing for a national championship this year. They're bringing in, I forget what year he is, but the quarterback they're bringing in, he's been there for a while, sat behind Milrow, and is just kind of patiently been waiting for his start, and he's going to get it. So we'll see what he can do. DeBoer, I think most people can agree he didn't really have, I would say, a great or oh yeah, I wouldn't say he had a great opening campaign. He probably had to consider it pretty good. But when you're basically given that, when you were given the team with that talent when Saban stepped away, I think people were expecting more. And you can look at their schedule and the teams they played and the results of those games, and I think most fans of Alabama can say, yeah, I think we expected a little bit more. So we'll see how they do as he looks to start his second season. But yeah, I think this will be an easy win for Alabama. Like we said, Florida State. Just we know what they were last year. What's the quarterback's name that just transferred there? Who am I?
Tommy
What's the?
Castellanos.
Yeah, that's it from Boston College. So he's
Yep.
he was good at Boston College. So we'll see what he can do. But I mean, you want to talk about ACC versus SEC? There's your evidence right there. But he's been talking a lot of smack online. So we'll see what happens. Let's leave it at that.
Now, something I have to disagree with you is you said Alabama is expectation is to win a national championship.
At least compete
I
for one.
I mean, personally, I don't think they're going to be competing for one. I
Okay.
still don't think that they have the right team to compete for one compared to the teams that are at the top of the ladder. Ty Simpson recruited by Alabama, committed to Alabama. I think this is his second year there. I think he sat 1 year behind.
I think
I'm
he's
not
no, I think
mistaken,
he
and
sat two. I'm pretty sure he sat two.
might be two, but I'm pretty sure it's one.
No,
My memory serves me correctly.
regardless.
But yeah, no, I still think this is Bama's game to lose. I just think it will be interesting on the Florida State side. You're coming off a team that's 2-10. Your
Yeah,
two wins are
absolutely.
Cal and FCS school, and Mike. This is the year Mike Norvell is do or die because if you have a bad year, you're done. You're fired. Okay, no doubt about it in my mind. So you got to jump in. You got to do better, and ultimately they have to at least compete. They don't have to win this game, but they at least have to compete in the ACC. Alabama being in the SEC, particularly in the SEC West, you got to come out strong. You got to win this game. I
Yeah.
think Bama wins, but they don't cover.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I think this is a bigger game for Bama than it is for Florida State because everyone knows you lose one game in the SEC and you're out for the year. So we'll see how that goes.
No, not in the 12-man playoff.
I
Not
guess.
you can win. You can
Yeah,
lose
I guess
three
that's.
games,
I guess
and you can
that's
still
true.
be a part of it.
Well,
But what I'm saying
it
is,
also depends
since
on
it's
what your name is, but for Florida
but
State,
it's
I would
Alabama,
say
so
that's my point. But I would say I'm talking about for other SEC teams. For Florida State, on the other hand, like you said, Mike Norvell had a terrible team last year. Was it the worst team in the ACC, or was there a worse team? I'm pretty sure they were the worst team in the ACC.
I mean they had one ACC win. There might be a team that had zero, but
Yeah,
yeah, they probably are the worst team.
yeah, they're the worst team in the SEC, or they were the worst team in the ACC last year. Um, And then, I mean, going into this season, you talked about for Mike Norvell's sake, you need to be competitive in the ACC. I mean, we'll talk about it in a second, but Clemson's up top. They're probably gonna. I mean, I know I'm going to sound biased saying this, but they're probably going to win the ACC. They just have a really good roster. Besides them, we'll see what Miami can do, but they just lost a lot of their older, better players to the draft and or to the NFL and to graduation. We'll see what Georgia Tech looks like this year. I know a lot of people are high on them. What's the quarterback's name? I know it, but
Haynes King.
yeah, Haynes King. A lot of people are high on him, so we'll see how they look this year as well. Bill Belichick is back coaching football in the ACC as well, down there in Chapel Hill, so I guess up there. So we'll have to wait and see how they look this season. And I mean, you never really want to count out NC State either. So if you're looking in terms of conferences, I don't think Florida State's going to be competitive in the ACC this year unless there's a huge turnaround from last year, just based on what we've seen in the ACC this offseason coming into it. So yeah, I absolutely think this is a bigger game for Alabama to win than Florida State. But I do also agree with your point for the coach's sake. You need to look competitive and you need to make the game somewhat close, or at least through 3 quarters, keep it close.
Yeah, it's going to be real bad if they can't make something happen. Yeah. Real bad.
Real bad.
I got Bama to win. To cover, I honestly think Florida State might cover. I like Doak Campbell as a stadium. Yeah, 13.5. I like the stadium for the environment at least, and I think it's going to be.
Was it in Florida State?
Look, it's at Florida State.
Okay.
If it was in Bama, if the spread was anything, I would take a 21 if it was in Alabama. I mean, yeah, I think they could win that by 3 touchdowns in Alabama. But Florida State, I like it. So
this would also probably be a big upset watch game too.
Indeed, because if Florida State can actually they have the talent. Like from the recruiting class they have some talent, so they can actually put it together in week 1.
Look at last year under DeBoer. Alabama had a pretty slow start. So,
well, they had scary games as well. Remember that South Carolina game they won? That's a scary game right there.
Yeah.
So
we'll just wait and see. But I think Alabama's going to win this one. If they're prepared the right way, they should be. Again, if Nick Saban was the head coach of Alabama, I would not be saying any of this right now. They're going to win that game. But Kellen DeBoer has not proven to me that he's Nick Saban yet. So or that he's anything near that yet. So until that happens, we'll watch for the upset. But do you want to move it on over to the next big game, the noon game?
I mean, we're probably going to save the 7:30 because it's us.
Well, in my opinion, that's going to be the biggest game.
That's not the biggest game.
Okay, this is my hot take then. I think Ohio State's going to get whooped.
No.
I think Texas is going to go in and smoke them.
No. To say 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, depending on the poll, is not the biggest game of the week. With the returning national champions against a team that lost in the semifinals, to say it's not the biggest game of the week, you're right. Yeah. Right. Let me tell you this. No. Let me tell you this. If flip this. Ready? Flip it. If Clemson's playing at noon against LSU and Ohio State's under the lights, what's the bigger game?
I would still say Clemson LSU because to me,
crazy.
I don't think talent-wise Ohio State should be 3. They lost a lot of players. They brought in a lot of new guys. And I know, again, I'm just saying Ryan Day does not have a great track record against big teams. That's all I'm saying. It's just, to me, or am I thinking, what are you looking at? What?
Yeah, I would say that's James Franklin for Penn State. Not.
Well.
No, Ryan Day.
Well, he's lost big games too, but he's definitely won more than James Franklin.
He's definitely won a lot of big games too.
He's definitely won some, but my point being, I think in terms of talent-wise between the two teams, I think Texas is a lot better than – if we're comparing the 2 games, right, I think the talent disparity between Texas and Ohio State is larger than it is Clemson LSU. That's my point.
No.
Okay.
I still think it's a great – you're talking about 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3.
Again,
so you think
Texas, and my personal belief –
You think Texas is high and above the best team in the country?
Oh, yeah. Easy.
So you have them winning the Natty, basically.
I mean, I did last year too, but yeah. Well, actually,
Texas will always find a way. Texas will always
no.
find a way.
Texas would be my second choice because Clemson's winning it this year. But
Fun.
if I had to pick
all right.
if I had to make a real claim, I probably would say Texas. I just think they have the best top to bottom team.
What's your what? No, let's stick right here. Do you think Arch Manning goes in there and just runs riot? And what's the final score?
I don't know if it's going to be the Arch Manning game. I think you'll see a lot of like power running as well. I don't think it'll be like Arch Manning's here. I think he'll have a good game, but I don't think it's gonna be like 350 something passing yards and like 5 touchdowns. I think they're gonna have a good running offense. I think Arch Manning's gonna do the things necessary to win the game, and they're gonna ride that defense. And I think they're gonna hold Ohio State to like 14 points. And as long as they can score like 28 or 21, then they're gonna win the football game. And that's just in my mind. That's how I see it happening. And because of that, and I just think the matchup between Clemson and LSU could go either way, and that's why in my mind I think that's a better game in my opinion.
You know, the spread for those games are the same, right?
Yeah, I know.
With Ohio State being a favorite.
Again, they like to just favor the home team, but this is college sports, so anything can happen.
Okay. I think
most of why I'm not so big is because I'm just not. I don't think Ohio State's going to be that good this season. I think they lost a lot of talent from that championship team last year, and I think they're not going to jump out of the gates and be as good as they were right off the rip. It might take some building up to getting back there later in the season, but week 1 with a bunch of new guys on the field that are playing college football at Ohio State for the first time as starters, going up against a Texas team who's mainly juniors and seniors. I just kind of like Texas to come out of that. I have more confidence that Texas will win that game than I do Clemson beating LSU. That's just how I see it.
I see it like this. Ready? You're going into. Do you think LSU going into Death Valley is a big factor?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think Texas.
Yeah, home field advantage is huge in college sports.
Yes, and Texas is going into the shoe of the national champions.
Yeah, but
right?
You know what else is also big in college football is experience, and Texas's starters have a lot of experience. Ohio State not as much. That's my whole point.
But you think they're going to get ran out the water?
A touchdown or 2 game. I guess if that's described ran out the water.
You think you think 28-21 is? You
like,
said you said they're going to run on them, like run riot.
Oh yeah, because I think they're going to control the game and win by a touchdown.
But like, if they win 24-17, that's not a running riot game.
Okay, so I think that Texas is going to score first and will never give the lead up for the rest of the game. Or if Ohio State scores first, Texas will take once Texas takes the lead, in my mind, they're not giving it up. That's just how I see that playing out.
Do you think that Clemson-Texas game in the playoff, do you think Texas ran riot all over Clemson or no?
I mean, I didn't really watch that game, so I can't speak to it that much.
Do you watch college football? Wait, aren't you a Clemson fan?
I am a Clemson fan, but...
And you didn't watch the playoff game with Clemson in it?
Because, we snuck in by the skin of our teeth. I'm pretty sure most people expected us to lose, and I had work. So, yeah, I didn't call out work.
Okay, work was your only valid excuse there.
I mean, I was probably going to watch the game if I didn't have work, but I'm not going to call off of work to watch a college football playoff game where I'm 90% sure my team's going to lose.
Yeah, but the Giants snuck in and they beat the 17-0 Patriots and won the Super Bowl, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. The Braves snuck in 2021. They won the World Series. Anything can happen. You never know. That's what's exciting about sports.
College football is a little more predictable than that.
You think that college football is more predictable than the NFL?
Yeah, easily.
Oh, easily not.
Yeah.
Easily not.
Easily, yes.
No, it's not.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's not. Are you stupid?
Yes. This is my point. Here you go.
You think the NFL playoffs? You think the NFL playoffs are harder or just?
We're not talking about the playoffs. We're talking about NFL and college football as a whole right now, and I'm looking at
Because no shit, Georgia's playing Marshall week 1. I don't think Marshall's going to go in there and fucking beat Georgia.
that's
No
my whole
shit.
point.
We're
Yeah,
not
that's my whole
talking.
point.
That's not the whole point.
Well,
No,
that's
because
my
you
whole
said
point.
Texas. You said Texas had a 90% chance to beat Clemson.
In my mind, yes.
So when the Eagles have home field advantage, right, and they play the worst team in the playoffs, right? You go in there thinking, oh, this is a 50-50 shot.
No, I think we're gonna win this game, but the chances that other team upsets us are a lot greater in the NFL than they are in college football.
No, I would disagree on that.
I
I would
wouldn't.
disagree on that.
I
Who
just
won
think.
wait. Who won what seed was Ohio State when they won the playoff last year?
Yeah, I guess that is also a good point. But
All
hold
top
on.
4 teams.
Actually, no,
Whoa.
hold on. Because now you're talking about seeding. I'm not talking about seeding. I'm talking about talent on a team. Anyone could look at that Clemson and Texas matchup last year and say Texas has a much more talented team. They're gonna beat Clemson. That's my whole point.
Yeah, and when Ohio State played Oregon, right, and Oregon beat
Mm-hmm.
them earlier in the year, did everyone go, "Oh, Ohio State has more talent. They're going to run the water off them by 45 points at the Rose Bowl, where Oregon's closer"? No one thought that.
Yeah.
When Notre Dame played Georgia, right, and everyone had Georgia, did everyone think Notre Dame was going to beat them? And in your eyes, right, because Georgia didn't really have much of a lead, comfortable Notre Dame win, right?
Right.
Did everybody think Penn State was going to go in and go all the way to the college football national championship?
What?
Did everyone think Penn State was going to go all the way to the national championship?
I don't think so.
You see what I'm saying here? We're talking. I'm not talking in general as to college football. I'm talking about the playoff when it actually is the good teams versus the good teams.
Okay, in terms of the college football playoffs, yes, those 12 teams. Actually, no, sorry, those 10 teams. We're going to take Boise and Clemson out of this. Those 10 teams were probably all around the same talent level going in the playoffs. Exclude Boise State and Clemson. Those were the two charity. Here you go. You're in the playoffs. Have fun. So yeah, I think for the most part that was a decent format. But I didn't watch the Boise State game, and I think most people didn't because everyone and their mother knew they're not going to get very far. Yeah.
Nope. I don't know who you were talking to. Everyone was like, Ashton Genty's going to run the brakes off these people. And people thought that the Heisman Trophy winner, that in their minds, he didn't win it, but the Heisman Trophy winner in their minds was going to run riot, and he didn't. I mean, that's just the exciting nature of it. That's just the exciting nature of it.
I don't know many people that watch that game everyone's like Ashton Genty can only do so much. I mean, this is a Boise offense who has no passing game whatsoever, has shown no defensive skills whatsoever, who only has a run game. Yet I don't know who you were talking to that thought they had a chance to win anything in that playoffs. I mean, yes, Ashton Genty is a phenomenal talent, but him alone was not. I don't know what you're talking about. But
I have Penn State, but I talk, and I know people that had Boise State. So
all right. I didn't. So that's
my perspective. Here's the thing. When any team in the playoffs goes to Philly, any team goes to the playoffs, I would throw my entire house on Philly. Last year's team Philly, I would throw my entire house on Philly.
Oh yeah, because that was way in
the NFC Championship game. What was the final score?
55-23.
What was the final score in the Super Bowl?
The real score was 40-6, but I think it was 40-22. Yeah, because that Eagles team.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that Eagles team, talent-wise, is a top 5 team in NFL history. Not a single other roster in the NFL last season would come close to that.
So, which one has more parity, and which one had more upsets going on? Chiefs Eagles was the straight forecast for the Super Bowl.
Was it?
The only questionable part was maybe the Ravens. But if we're talking legitimate,
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was. It's gonna be Detroit and the Bills. Oh, no, watch out for the Commanders.
No,
watch out for, and actually,
no.
and let's
wait. The Commanders. The
Oh yeah,
Commanders?
yeah, exactly. When the Commanders were in the
No,
yes, no.
no,
When the Commanders,
no.
yes, when the Commanders were in the NFC Championship round, there were people all over this country who were like, they're gonna beat the Eagles and they're winning the Super Bowl. This is the
Okay,
best
okay,
team
okay.
in the
Oh, no, no, no,
NFC.
no, 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 no. But no. You're taking the argument what you were saying before, and you're not using the same timeline. So we need to use the same timeline
What?
here. Okay.
What are you
You said
talking
it. You said everyone thought that the Super Bowl was going to be the Lions and the Bills, and then you're saying everyone said watch out for the Commanders.
Okay,
When
so
did
when
everyone you're
so
saying everyone said watch
when
out for
are
the Commanders when it was the NFC Championship game.
so
But if you go
okay.
back to the wild card game, the Bucks were the favorite, and people thought the Bucks were going to beat the Commanders.
Yeah. So my point being, so when are you saying, "Oh, this is when people thought the Super Bowl matchup was going to be Eagles Chiefs"?
Straight forecast at the start of the playoffs.
Okay. So what was the forecasted outcome for the college football playoffs at the start?
Either Oregon or Georgia to be definitely in it, 100%. Because Ohio State
Okay.
was an 8 seed. Ohio State 8 seed would be like the
Yeah,
Commanders
no, that
going to the
was
Super Bowl.
Ohio State was that was a they were a deep
I'll
seed.
give you this. I'll give you this. Ready? I'll give you this. I'll give you this. There was some chaos happened before in like the divisional wild card, but there was no chaos, in my opinion, in terms of who actually got to the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, the names that got to the Super Bowl, were we surprised? No. Have we been surprised for the last 3 years? I think the only time in the last 3 years we were surprised was maybe the Niners when they beat the Lions, even though they had home field advantage.
Well, that
But
goes
even then, that
into a
wasn't a surprise.
that goes into a different problem because the college football doesn't have cheating allegations on them right now. The NFL's already admitted that the refs have been helping the Chiefs out the last few years. So that's a completely other argument because we wouldn't know who the Super Bowl representative for the AFC
What?
would be. I'm trying to explain to you, we wouldn't know who the AFC Super Bowl representative would be the
Wait, when has
last.
the NFL admitted that the
One second. Let me find the article. Did you not see this? There's a whole thing over the summer. The NFL fired 3 refs and publicly admitted that they overlooked these referees' actions. And the referees admitted they were fixing plays and games to benefit the Chiefs winning. That was a whole thing. You can look it up after. But we're running out of
all
time.
right, well,
So,
I'll research it after.
but yeah, no,
Yeah, we need to go back on topic here.
that was a whole thing this summer. But yeah.
Anyway,
So,
I also have we go back topic.
mhm.
I also have Texas winning. Do I think it's going to be a blowout? No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all. So
28-14. That's
I
my
think it's
prediction.
20-14.
28-14.
Okay, 28-14. No, I think it will be. I think it might be a 31-28 kind of game, or 31-20, like 7 or 4 kind of game. You know, it's gonna be one of those. So now let's get to the one that you actually want to talk about. Your biggest game
Yeah.
of the week.
Well, because, yeah.
LSU, Clemson.
Mhm.
First of all, what a game this is finally for Clemson fans because they actually get a week 1 game that's big.
That's also true.
But I've remembered.
Our week 1 game last year was big. We just didn't win it.
That's true. Georgia. You're right. Georgia. One at home.
That's true.
Now that I just remembered technically,
Mm-hmm.
Clemson has. I think Clemson's lost it's either last 2 or 3 straight home openers. I think it's 2.
2. We did not lose my freshman year.
We did not. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So Duke and Georgia.
2, yeah.
LSU has lost their last 5 straight openers. So these teams are technically, I can say it. These teams are on opening game losing streaks coming into this one. Okay. In Death Valley, and we already know the trash talk has been hyper.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some good trash talk at Texas too, but LSU or Clemson, the real Death Valley always comes out. Baron, I'll let you take it away first. I think I know you have winning, but you can go a little more in depth because you know a lot more about Clemson.
Well, I mean, I think this is entirely a game where LSU can win. I mean, and I don't think this is what people are going to expect me to spend this time talking about, but kind of alluding back to the reason why I think this is a bigger game is I don't think talent disparity is all there that people are making it out to be. I know a lot of people are very high on Clemson going into the preseason. What are we? I think we're AP ranked 4th, but I've seen us be as high as some people's number 1. So it's a lot of pressure for a team like that. Senior year, Cade Klubnik, we'll see what he can do. Hopefully he's put it all together. He's had the last 4 years to do so, so we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the coaching of this matchup real quick. We all know Dabo Swinney, who he is, what he's gonna do. And this is a discussion for another day. I don't think his job is the one that's ultimately going to be on the line this season. I think it's Brian Kelly's.
Dabo's got the keys to the fucking
Yeah.
city in Clemson, so.
Yeah. I mean, I've started to see some people say if they lose, or some LSU fans say if we lose to Clemson week 1, they want him gone then. Which is
Oh yeah, Brian Kelly should be fired if this is a bad year at LSU. So.
Yeah, but should he be fired if they lose to Clemson? Like.
No, because that's not how it works. What works is how you finish the year.
But that's what some people are saying. So
you don't really fire many college coaches in the middle of the season. So
yeah. So besides Mike Norvell, I don't really know a hotter seat in college football this upcoming season. But with a hot seat comes pressure, and when you're put into pressure, we see how you perform from it. Where I'm not saying Brian Kelly's a bad coach by any means. He surely has a record that justifies his place in college football, but yeah, I think because of that pressure, you're going to see him maybe change his style up a little, do some things you're not used to him seeing, maybe do some things to try and catch Clemson off guard. And because of how good these two teams are and how close of a game this might be, it could be decided by 3 or 4 plays. And if those 3 or 4 plays are good calls by the coaching staff, then yeah, that could be an LSU victory for sure. Now, is it hard for teams to come into the real Death Valley and play? Yes, it is very hard. There's been a lot of, at least as my time as a Clemson Tiger, we've seen some good upsets here in Death Valley, most notably Notre Dame. I'm trying to think of another one, but it's slipping my mind right now. Well, no, there was another one, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But
Clemson in Death Valley is usually never an upset.
No, it's usually not. But when a better team comes in, they have a hard time.
Can we ever one day fix your pronunciation of Notre Dame?
No.
No one says Notre Dame.
It's encoded into me at this point. You're just gonna have to suck it up.
Notre. Oh, that makes my ears bleed.
How do you say it? Notre.
Notre. Like motor, but Notre. Notre Dame.
I'm gonna say Noiter.
Notre Dame.
No, how am I saying it?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. All right, whatever.
That's what you say, Notre Dame.
Whatever. I don't even. I can't tell. So, regardless, yeah, this is gonna be a close game. Let's look at some of the players, right? Not too familiar with LSU's players, so let's just talk about the Clemson side, right? We should have the best defense this year, in my opinion, in college football. I mean, besides what, Texas, Georgia's probably gonna have a good defense. Bama.
I see what you're saying. I like the take. It's just my scared thing is, again, this is.
It's all okay. Well, it also kind of depends.
It's a weird take. It's a weird take, but Tom Allen, Penn State's DC, came to Clemson.
Yeah,
I think that's a good hire. But now, it's can he get it done at Clemson, right? I know it's like he got it done at Penn State, but it's a first year DC, so it's not like Clemson has Venables back. Let's see how Tom Allen does. You know what I'm saying? So
it kind of goes to show, or not goes to show, but I think it kind of depends on how it's utilized, right? Because you can look at Clemson's defense and be like, you can look at their secondary and be like, oh, there's some holes. Like you could probably target this deep safety here, and he's probably going to be out of position. Like there's definitely holes on this Clemson roster, but I think we have the best front four defensively in football. And when you have that, in college football, and when you have that, I think that can translate to building the best defense. Because And it's all comes back to tactical. Now stay with me here. When you're thinking
I'm
about
staying
it
with you.
from the I was talking to the viewers, but if you're thinking about it from the coaching perspective, right? If you have four really good pass rushers that are all putting pressure on the quarterback, you only have five guys that can block them. So that means there's only one extra guy that you can use for a double team. So if you got one guy in a double team, that leaves the other three one-on-one. If those three can win their one-on-one matchup and get to the quarterback in less than 3 seconds, that quarterback's never throwing more than 15 yards in one throw. That's just not going to happen. The receiver's not going to be able to get open in time. Doesn't matter who the defensive back is. It could be your grandma. The quarterback's just not going to have any time. So when you have a strong defensive line, you can you can hide those holes in your secondary or in your linebacker position, but with a strong play from the defensive line. And I think we'll see two Clemson defensive linemen be first-round draft picks this year. So, yeah, I think we'll have the best defensive line in football. It's going to be very hard for teams to run against us. So, yeah, we're going to have to see. I think Garrett Nussmeier is really going to have to air the ball out. But let's spend a minute on Garrett Nussmeier. Why don't we? We've been talking about Clemson for
Hey,
so
you know
long.
someone on LSU at least.
Yeah, it took me a second, right? Um, well, I mean, Garrett Nussmeier's like Kate Klubnik is in early Heisman award projections. This is probably a guy who's seen as a top 3 quarterback coming into the season, and he has a lot of expectations. And again, I don't think this is something you expected me to say on here today, Brooks, but I think he's gonna have a good game this weekend. Um, I think he's going to be accurate. I know he had a whole kind of off season to kind of slow down. I know last season had a lot of ups and downs for him, but now I feel like he's had this whole off season to kind of slow down and understand, kind of like very similar to kind of how K Klubnik coming in the last season, how he had that rough sophomore season when we went whatever it was 5-6. He had highs and lows, and then took a season or off season to kind of slow his game down and get familiar with everything. And look at him now. So I think Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a similar sort of a surgence from what we saw last year in his play, and I think he's going to be good this weekend. So I think Clemson's going to have to bring their A game to beat LSU. Obviously, I'm going to pick my Tigers to beat their Tigers. Just wouldn't be a fan if I didn't do that. So I'm going to say 31-28 or maybe 34-28. I could see that too. Say it.
I personally, if we're gonna take a game,
Do it.
where we're gonna take a game where
it's the closest one. That's why it's the best.
if I think we're gonna take a game that might be a blowout, it might be this one.
Oh, okay, that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
I genuinely think Clemson will be rocking. I'm trying not to be biased, but my thing is Brian Kelly in a big game on an opener. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Goodness.
Does not bode well for him. But
you were already making my point for me.
Right.
Hey, but you still think Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a big game. I think with the pass rush, it could be a long night for LSU. It could be a long night for that offensive line if they get going. So it all matters how the run game can go for LSU. Because you said the run game, Nussmeier's going to have more time. And this is why I think it could be scary. I think, call me crazy, I think this game could hit the under. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I think this game could hit the under, and I'll give you why.
Okay.
I gave you my reasons a little bit for why I think LSU might struggle on offense. I'll throw my reasons why I think Clemson could struggle on offense. One of those reasons is everyone is backing Cade Klubnik, particularly because of his second half performance. I like that idea. But you also have 3 good receivers: Antonio Williams, TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco Jr. Holy crap, I'm hyping Clemson up. Wait, they're going to do amazing. I am still scared about the running back position for Clemson. Adam Randall is their starting running back. That is a former wide receiver who is a little big wide receiver, yes, but as a former wide receiver stepping in RB1 against LSU. And again, it's one of those things where if you can't run the ball, it's going to be a long night for either side. I think this game could be a 21-17, 14 kind of game if it's going to be close. But if
Mhm.
it's going to be if I think it's going to be a blowout, I think this could be a double-digit Clemson victory. And so I'm going to go with, if it's a double-digit Clemson victory, I'm going to go with 27-14. Clemson gets it done. The defense shines. TJ Parker, after all the smack talk, ends with 2.5 sacks on the night. Clemson's loud and pumping. And they're ready to get going for this season. So, and Brian Kelly in a big game. I can't back Brian Kelly in a big game.
So this is my reasoning is because I think he knows his time's up if he doesn't get it done. I think kind of like what I said earlier. I think he's gonna do some stuff we're not familiar with, some stuff we haven't seen from him. Get kind of freaky. I mean, just pull out all the stops, you know. Yes. Shout out Adam Randall. He was in my stat class one year, but I love the guy, but
There you go.
you're right. Running backs probably, at least on the offensive side of the ball, Clemson's biggest hole. Probably on the team, if I'm being completely honest. But you got a guy in Cade Klubnik who's can extend plays with his legs. And you can go ahead and look at any football team. If you have a quarterback that can be anywhat mobile, that helps your running back out a lot. They have a pretty good offensive line that'll help out as well a lot. But I mean, to me, I see Clemson, LSU, kind of like I alluded to, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, two, let's just say, top 5 quarterbacks in college football coming into the season. I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. Both quarterbacks, you're going to see 350 plus yards. Yeah, that's why I think the score's going to be a little bit bigger because, I don't know, I think you look at both teams, like you said, they're both on opening game losing streaks, right? I think both of those teams start slow. And I'm not going to speak for LSU personally, but I can speak for Clemson because I've watched those last few game openers, and the defensive side of the ball starts a little slow at the beginning of the season. I'm just calling it how I see it. Yes, don't look at me like that. Do you want me to pull? You want me to pull up the score to the Duke? You want me to pull up the score of the Duke game right now?
You would pull what the UGA game was? It was 6-0 at half.
Yeah, that's true.
Clemson's offense was non-existent. And we can talk about the Clemson Duke game because Clemson Duke was the same thing. Clemson's offense was not helping out. They were not helping out.
They weren't helping out, but the defense was not. Okay.
Well, look at the field position that Duke had. Look at the field position they had.
Regardless, that was a lot. That was a lot of points to a Duke team that was not good that season. Last year, you're right. I did forget at halftime they did have a pretty good first half against Georgia.
That Duke team was they were not bad.
They weren't terrible. Like that was.
They had.
It was the best season Duke's had. Oh my god.
Hold up, because that was one of their best seasons, not the best team all time. They had Riley Leonard at quarterback, who was, really good. That's why he transferred to Notre Dame, not Notre Dame. That's why Notre Dame, and that's why.
Yeah. But they still weren't a good team. They were
good
for their standards.
Hold up. What was the record?
What year was it? 2023.
2023.
Duke football schedule. That's wrong. Hold on. Was it 2023 or 2022? No,
2023.
That's not right because 2023 says they went 7th in the ACC. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yes, you're right. They'll finish 7th in the ACC that year.
And what was their final record? That's what matters here.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Oh wait. Wait, is this?
You're right. 7.
This isn't even the right season. It wasn't 2023.
I'm on the right season.
Am I?
It was 2023.
Hold on.
28-7. Duke beat Clemson.
Oh, I scrolled down. I see. Okay,
I know the records.
Hold on. Okay, this.
Why am I beating you on this? 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 5-3, 6-3.
Yeah, because this
6-5, 7-5,
okay,
8-5.
8-5.
8-5. 8-5 is a good year for Duke.
For Duke, yeah, for Duke, it's a good year, but for a competitive college football team, that's not. You're telling
Look
me
at
if
their okay, but
okay, if
no, no, no,
Georgia,
no, 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 no,
no.
no, no,
If Georgia went
no, no,
8
no,
and
no.
5 that season, is that a good year?
It's about expectations. It's about expectations. No, no, no. Let me give me a second. Give me a second. Let me come back. Let me come back. Let me go. Who are their losses to? Ready? 7-point loss to a Notre Dame, 11th. 18-point loss to number 4 Florida State on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They lost at Louisville, number 18, 23-0. They lost 47-45 against at North Carolina, 24th, Drake May, North Carolina, and they lost 30-27 to Virginia at Virginia, their only bad loss. Those are tough games they lost. Those are tough games. Look at the ACC that year. That's not a bad conference. They beat Clemson. That's not a bad conference. But their losses are to Florida State, the one that should have made the playoff. They lost to a ranked Louisville. They lost to a ranked North Carolina. They lost to a ranked Notre Dame.
North Carolina
and they
was
lost.
not ranked.
North Carolina was number 24.
It's not on my screen.
Number 24. I have it right there. ESPN.
Oh, you're on ESPN.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't know if maybe they didn't finish the year ranked, but at the time they played maybe they were ranked. Maybe that's what it's saying. But
that might be
because Clemson's 9th in that. Yeah, that's what it's probably saying.
Clemson's
because they beat
on
Duke
yours.
and then because they beat Duke and then they lost on 3.
Mine's looking at the end of the season then. Okay. Granted, no, that's yes, that's a good season for Duke standards, but you gotta remember this is a Clemson team that what did we go the year prior? We lost 2 games and won the ACC. Just got rid of DJ. The hype in Cade was big. That was a bad loss against Duke. You can't tell me that wasn't a good loss. Duke
that was a bad season for Clemson.
Yeah, I know it was a bad season. My point being that was not a good Duke. That was not a good win for us. We should have beat Duke that day. All right, that's my whole point. We should not have lost 28-7 to that Duke.
If you think about it, you compare Duke to Clemson, just straight up. Clemson had one more win. One. They won 9 games that year.
I'm not talking about the end of the season. I'm talking about the start of the season.
We were talking about
preseason expectations. Yeah, Clemson was a team we were expected.
Okay. Then can I ask you this?
Yes.
Georgia Tech beating Florida State last year in Ireland was a big win, top 10 win.
Yeah.
But is that as big of a win now that Florida State went 2-10? I don't think so.
I mean, at the time,
if you be a team that goes 2-10, that's not as big of a. You could still be like, hey, that was a big one because Florida State was at this time. But at the same time, you look at it with in hindsight,
you could argue
not as big of a win.
You could also argue that loss is the reason they went 2 and whatever they went. That loss was so demoralizing they didn't win all those other games. So there's a lot of factors that are involved in this. My point being, this is going to be a shootout between Clemson and LSU. 34-28.
All right. Any other college football takes? Because we have a lot of rants here. Any other college football takes?
Let's see.
Your natty winner is Texas?
My non-biased national champion would let me look. Hold on. Before I'm forgetting anyone. Because I do want to make sure I include everyone. Yeah, I'd probably say Texas. Penn State could be sneaky. I said,
never trusting Dan Franklin.
All right. Alabama could be another sneaky team.
Nope, not trusting Dan Moore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really either.
I'm going Clemson, baby. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. I'm going Clemson.
I mean, Ohio State could be a sneaky team. We just have to see how they look. It's just, to me, it's just too new of a roster to be like, oh, they're this good. Let's dive right in. Notre Dame, we'll see how they look. I mean, LSU too. I mean, like I said, they have a strong week 1 and a strong start to the season. They could be competing for a title. I mean, there's a lot of teams in here that really could be competing for a title, dark horse wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Texas is the best roster in college football right now. And
all right.
I'm gonna go with the best roster.
There you go. That'll be another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank you for listening. Who's y'all's national champions? Let us know down in the comments. And peace.